Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Adriana DC. Tonight I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 leather dominant fragrances in my collection. Now a minute ago I saw Veronica said did this video and I was very much intrigued because I quite like that note of leather in my fragrances. So I decided to, scope through my collection to see all those fragrances with that lovely note of leather. And I'm going to be giving you guys all those fragrances in my collection that, I would consider to be leather dominant. One or two of them, it's not too much leatherish, should I say. But for the most part, majority of these offerings here are, that leather note is quite dominant. That I think is actually quite nice. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, then by all means keep on watching. If you guys are new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that notification bell so that way you will be notified every single time I upload. So let's just get right into it. So the first fragrance I'm going to tell you guys about is actually my very first leather fragrance in my collection. And this was actually one of the first perfumes that I bought. And that fragrance is Valentino Donna. Now, this perfume right here has been in my collection for quite some time now. I don't wear this fragrance as much. I think I kind of like outgrow this perfume, so to speak, but it's still a very much beautiful perfume. So this is your rose, vanilla, patchouli, and leather smelling perfume. It does have bergamot in the opening. You definitely get that essence of that bergamot. This for me is a really, it's a beautiful, somewhat edgy smelling fragrance. You get the rose in here, and even though it has two types of rose in the heart, this is not what you call like an elegant girly type of perfume. This is that fragrance that it's a grown woman type of scent. It's a grown woman type of scent with a hint of playfulness, but then there's that leather note that kind of gives it an edge. And I think that's one of the things that I really love about Valentino fragrances. In my opinion, I think the DNA for Valentino fragrances, or should I say for Valentino, is that those leathery touches in its fragrances. For me, I have the Valentino Born in Roma. I think that perfume has a hint of leathery vibes to it, especially the newer version, Yellow Dreams. Even though, they're quite simplified, fruity floral fragrances, I think those perfumes definitely has that Valentino touch to it, in my opinion, which I most definitely think involves that note of leather. And while this fragrance isn't that much talked about right now, I still think this is an absolutely beautiful fragrance from the Valentino range, and I think it's a really beautiful scent to pull out during the fall months as well. So this is Valentino Donna. The next leather dominant fragrance in my collection is Velvet Oud by Lattafa, you guys. Now, the best way to describe this perfume is, now if you guys smell Tuscan leather from Tom Ford, then you definitely have an idea of what this fragrance smells like. Now, I have never heard anybody say that this is an actual dupe of Tom Ford's Tuscan leather, but I have seen, some people on fragrance consider this fragrance resembles that perfume really closely. Now, I have walked into Selfridges and actually smelled Tuscan leather from Tom Ford. No, I didn't really play around with Tuscan leather because I'm not interested in that fragrance. It's not a bad perfume, but the minute I smelled it, I definitely got this fragrance in particular. And overall, this is a fresh, citrusy, musky, oudy, leathery smelling perfume. There is an incense note in here, same which you get inside this fragrance right here. But overall, this is a fresh, citrusy, clean, musky, oudy, leather dominant perfume with the essence of incense. There's a very strong incense note in here. This smells like high quality leather, clean, fresh, brand spanking new leather, you guys. In my opinion, this is a very refined, fragrance. Now, like I said, I'm not quite sure if it's a dupe, but when we talk about like the quality of this perfume, it's really good, you guys. I'm gonna have to say this is a very refined fragrance. If it is in fact a dupe of Tuscan leather, I don't know, whatever, but this perfume, it is crisp, it is clean, it's fresh, it's citrusy, musky, and it smells like brand spanking new, expensive leather, you guys. Beautiful. This, I think it's a safe blind buy. If you guys like Tuscan leather, if you guys like that note of leather, then this is a beautiful offering from Lattafa. This fragrance is sold as a unisex perfume. However, I think it leans borderline unisex. This is a very well-refined fragrance offered by Lattafa for a very affordable price. I think I paid less than £20 for this perfume. So if you guys love leather, definitely go for this fragrance, you guys. So this is Velvet Oud by Lattafa. The next leather dominant fragrance in my collection is Badal Oud by Lattafa. Now this is a clone for Oud for Greatness, and this is Lattafa's Oud for Glory. Beautiful smelling perfume, you guys. I've said this before, I don't think it's worth, the original is worth 270 quid. I wouldn't purchase it, but if you can get it for a nice affordable price and packaging like the one that Lattafa offers, then you got yourself a steal of a deal. It's a beautiful saffron and lavender leathery smelling perfume. That's what you get, an airy, powdery freshness combined with a woody leathery vibe to this perfume. Beautiful smelling perfume. You definitely get the saffron, you definitely get the leather really strong in here, mixing with that lavender, and there's also some patchouli. Beautiful fragrance. The edginess in this perfume is what I think I like the most. If they took the leather note of this perfume, it wouldn't be worth smelling, I'll be honest with you guys. But this is a very sexy leather scent, you guys. If you really love that note, I mean, it does have that Baccarat Rouge vibe, and some people more love Baccarat Rouge, which I don't. For me, the sexiness in this fragrance is in those leathery touches in here. It's not a very like rough and rugged leathery vibe. It's more like a powdery leather. So this is a leather that has a bit of weight to it. This is genuine leather with a bit of weight to it. So it's not like a brand spanking new leather. And it's like it's an affordable leather that has been broken in a little bit with some powdery touches, with some sweetness and some lavender and stuff and some saffron. I love this perfume just for that alone, you guys. I would say to you, this fragrance does last. It does get close to the skin, but it definitely lasts, okay? It's not a major projector, but I would say this is a very beautiful wearing experience. If you definitely love that leathery vibe combined with that somewhat Baccarat Rouge vibe, this is a beautiful fragrance with that note of leather, you guys. So this is Oud for Glory by Lattafa. Next, we have Santal Royale by Guerlain. Now, when I thought about putting together this list, I was prepared to come on here and tell you guys that the leathery touches in this perfume isn't that prominent. However, this just goes to show you guys need to play around with your fragrances to fully explore the scent. This perfume is fairly new to my collection, and for me, when I smell it, I get some spicy, somewhat citrusy, oody, ambery, you know, slightly woody vibes in this perfume. But when you spray this fragrance, as in like when you go in like when you spray away, like overspray and go in full galore with this perfume, you definitely get those leathery touches, you guys. For me, it comes off a slight bit metallic-y. I think it's because of the oody touches in here, but the oud mixing with that cinnamon, with those woody touches in here, so combining with that leather and that amber and the musk. This is a beautiful fragrance with the remnants of leather, but you definitely get the scent of it. You definitely get that smell of leather, as in if you touch something leathery and you smell the remnants of it on your hands. That's pretty much the vibe that you get from Santal Royale. In my opinion, this is absolutely beautiful. This is a gorgeous smelling fragrance from Guerlain, you guys. So this is Santal Royale by Guerlain. The next leather dominant fragrance in my collection is Spirito Fiorentino, you guys. Spirito Fiorentino. This fragrance opens up with an accentuated note of saffron. You have your saffron, there's some jasmine, some sweet jasmine in this perfume. You have those leathery touches mixed with some woody touches, and there's also the presence of amber in this fragrance, you guys. Perfume, it opens up with the sweetness from, you know, that Baccarat Rouge vibe, but then it goes into the leather vibes. The leather mixing with the amber in here is quite beautiful, but one thing I can say is that the leather vibes in here is like no other. Each of these fragrances have something different to offer when it comes to leather. It offers, you know, leather done in a different way and still quite an enjoyable way. In my opinion, even if you're scared of that leathery note, I don't think it will bother you that much. This one, in my opinion, is blended quite nicely. It's a beautiful, you know, addition to the whole DNA of this particular perfume. And in my opinion, I find it thoroughly enjoying, you guys. And this is just a beautiful fragrance. It is quite strong, okay? And like I said to you, for me, it gives me what I was expecting from Baccarat Rouge 540. So I am quite happy to have this fragrance in my collection. So this is Spirito Fiorentino by Tiziana Terenzi. The next fragrance I'm going to tell you guys about is not actually a leather fragrance, but it does have a leather accord because of the presence of suede in this perfume. So in my opinion, you do get more of a suede vibe. And the fragrance I'm telling you guys about is QAA'ED Beluga by Guerlain. This is another beautiful smelling fragrance. This, in my opinion, smells like sweet, exquisite, powdery suede. That's what I get from this perfume. This fragrance, it has a very sweet accentuated note of vanilla. You have some vanilla, heliotrope, some amber, and some suede. And this fragrance has quite a powdery dry down. But really what you get from this perfume is exquisite suede, okay? And for me, it's absolutely beautiful. I would say this perfume comes off a tiny bit vintagey in my opinion, but it is beautiful nonetheless. It's a very smooth, beautiful vanilla and heliotrope smelling fragrance. Like I said to you, with that essence of suede. And as it begins to dry down, you get more a drier, suede vibe. As opposed to when it opens up, it comes out just more exquisite. Beautiful smelling perfume. I think Guerlain usually makes really classy and elegant fragrances. So for me, the addition of suede in this vanilla perfume just gives this fragrance a bit more of a classy vibe to it. So for me, this is a beautiful smelling perfume. So this is QAA'ED Beluga by Guerlain. Next we have is a scary leather fragrance. This is not for the faint of heart. It's not a safe blind buy. This is a perfume that you have to tread lightly, and you got to make up your mind if you really want to try this perfume. And that perfume is the MAAHIR by Lattafa, but this is the black bottle edition, or should I say the black edition. And this is your rugged, smoky, earthy, dirty, leathery smelling perfume. It's quite an interesting smelling fragrance. It is very much an acquired taste. For me, this is what a Harley Davidson rider smells like. Picture a Harley Davidson rider in a rugged, genuine leather gillet vest or jacket, smoking a cigar, the exhaust from the motorbike. If you just think of the essence of, all of those things, then you definitely have an idea of how this perfume smells. It is very smoky, very earthy, extremely leather dominant, very much on the dirtier side, a hint of sweetness in this fragrance. There's a hint of aromatic vibe, and there's also some oud, but this is as smoky as you can possibly get when it comes to a leather fragrance. Strangely enough, I don't dislike this perfume, but this is a very risky fragrance. It is very interesting and very much different. But if you like leather, if you are, like a very edgy and bold and somewhat, rough around the edges type of person, you can pull this fragrance off. But bear in mind, it is extremely strong. It's a very strong, like one spray out of this bottle would project in ways that you will constantly smell the perfume. So you have to love this fragrance if you're going to wear it. And if you do wear it, spray it on your clothes, let it settle, and then put it on, you guys. That's how strong this perfume is. So for me, this is like the leatheriest of them all when it comes to leather fragrances. So this is MAAHIR, the black edition by Lattafa. Next we have is the Badal Oud Amethyst from Lattafa, and I'm not quite sure which fragrance this one in particular is inspired by. Either it's psychedelic rose or I'm not quite sure because I'm not really familiar with Inisa fragrances. All I know is that it's a beautiful fragrance. Now, strangely enough, this perfume does not list a leathery note inside of it, but it definitely has that baseline of the original Badal Oud for Glory. But long story short, this perfume smells like a less intense version of Angel Nova from Mugler combined with Badal Oud. Now, a lot of people say it's rose dominant. It is very much rose dominant, but the sweetness of the rose, okay, there's a sweet candied rose vibe in here, so that comes off like Angel Nova. That's the best way to describe how this perfume opens up. I get the essence of Angel Nova combined with that dry, powdery, leathery vibe that you get from in the original Badal Oud. Apparently, it's meant to have a more oudy vibe. In my opinion, The leathery touches is just as prominent as the oud, so you're not getting a lot of oud. I'm not getting like a strong oudy vibe in this particular perfume. Either way you put it, this is a beautiful smelling fragrance in my opinion. Now people say the rose in here is synthetic. All I know, it smells sweet and rich and juicy and fruity and really nice, you guys. I love this perfume. But I think the leathery touches in here gives this perfume an edge. Okay, it takes this fragrance in a very interesting direction, a little bit different from Angel Nova, and it adds a little bit more playfulness to the original Battle Oud for Glory. So this is Battle Oud Amethyst by Lattafa. Definitely a beautiful, somewhat leathery smelling fragrance. The next fragrance in my collection that gives me leather vibes is Instant Crush by Mancera. This is a very interesting smelling perfume. It opens up with that intense note of saffron combining with the ginger, so it has somewhat of a spicy feel to it. It's quite eerie, a little bit fresh in a way, okay, but it definitely have those strong woody ambery elements in the base of this fragrance combined with a slight leathery vibe. So in my opinion, this fragrance has the essence of a leathery vibe to it. Okay, it's a beautiful perfume, but I think what takes this fragrance to that borderline unisex vibe or feel is those leathery touches. And I gotta say, the saffron in here is accentuated really beautifully. It smells really nice, okay? And I think this is the fragrance that I, really became acquainted with that saffron note, in my opinion. But overall, what you get from this fragrance is a spicy saffron, ambery, woody, somewhat slightly leathery, musky smelling perfume. A very beautiful fragrance and definitely a borderline unisex scent in my opinion. So this is Instant Crush. Last but by no means least, we have QAA'ED by Lattafa, and this is an absolutely beautiful fragrance. This fragrance opens up with a very accentuated note of cardamom combining with some cinnamon. There is some vanilla, sweet, eerie, vanilla-y essence in here. Vanilla combining with the oud, some woody touches, and of course those leather vibes in here. One thing I noticed about leather is it kind of gives fragrances a borderline unisex feel. Like I said to you, it gives that kind of like bold, somewhat edgy vibe to it, and that's one of the things that's definitely present in this perfume. This is a beautiful fragrance. It's spicy, leathery, vanilla-y, cinnamon smelling perfume, but you definitely get those leathery touches in the dry down. The cardamom keeps it really airy and invigorating and fresh and quite bright and beautiful. I love this fragrance all the way. I mean, my partner captured this perfume from me, but I gotta say, for a fragrance that leans so much, unisex, or should I say, more on the masculine side a little bit, this is such a beautiful perfume, you guys. Love this fragrance, and the leathery touches in the base just gives this fragrance a dry down to it. I think this is beautiful. It has in some saffron as well. One thing I noticed about all these perfumes, they have that saffron note kind of combined with it. Well, then again, a lot of them are Lattafa anyways, but yeah, beautiful smelling perfume, you guys. Absolutely beautiful fragrance from Lattafa with those leathery touches in here. Sexy, in my opinion. This is a sexy smelling perfume. So this is QAA'ED by Lattafa. So there you have it, you guys. These are my top 10 leather dominant fragrances in my collection. I really do hope you guys enjoy these selections. If in fact you did, please do give me a big thumbs up. If you guys are new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that notification bell so that way you will be notified every single time I upload. And until next time, see you guys in my next video. Bye.